Okay. Hi, everyone. This is Tom Stewart with Cleaning Business Builders. I'm filling in for Cece today. She's out for the next couple of days dealing with some personal business. And today, Derek's going to be doing a presentation for us on how to increase traffic and conversion rates on our websites. This is, you had a sneak peek of this. This is really a good presentation on letting us know about all the changes that's happening, primarily in the digital world, a lot of it evolving around Google and mobile technology, and some really easy things that we can do here to move the needle and get us a lot more leads. And I guess in today's world, it's all about scooping up prospects, scooping up leads. And I guess we've got people signing up. We probably have another couple minutes to go before we start. Derek, are you with us?
Yep, I'm here and just letting Tom do some talking. Like you said, we've got probably 3 minutes before we'll get started, but we just want to let you know you're in the right place and should be fun today. We're looking forward to it.
It's really amazing how quickly this whole lead generation business has changed. You know, I've been doing this for a while, and it used to be something as simple as putting a big yellow page ad out and sitting back and letting the phone ring and taking orders. And that was a lifetime ago. And now it's a lot more about the internet and search engine optimization and driving traffic to your website and using that to capture leads.
Well, I haven't been in the business quite as long as you have, Tom, but I definitely remember our first internet homepage. The best practice at the time was to put a great big phone number on there and try to make it so when the customer saw your phone number, the call to action is you wanted to encourage them to pick up the phone and call you. And one of the things we're going to talk about today is why that's not as good as it used to be, and why that could actually backfire on you now.
Yeah, the popular theory back then was you wanted to have a brochure site with nothing more than just to have them pique their curiosity, so they would call. And I haven't seen anybody talk about the merits of a brochure site in a long time. That has shifted from picking up the phone to getting them to engage, at the very least getting some contact information, all the way up to getting their credit card and booking a job. Looks like we've got about 10 people that have logged in so far. We'll give it another couple minutes to allow everybody to navigate GoToMeeting. I know if you haven't done one of these recently, a lot of times it wants to download and install some type of native app on your computer, and it takes a couple of minutes to make all that work. So we'll give it like one more minute, and then we'll go ahead and start. Looks like people are starting to come in at a pretty rapid clip now, so we'll just give them another minute to make it through the sign-in process. Kind of as a side note, I guess, while we're waiting, little bonus information for those of you maybe that haven't seen Cleaning Business Today. Today there was some breaking news about the Department of Labor coming out with some directions on how companies can make a determination if their workers or contractors or employees. And it's really the boldest and clearest statement they've made on the topic, and it's weighted heavily towards making it harder to classify workers as 1099 contractors. It's going to be interesting to see how that shakes down and how that's enforced. So if you haven't gone to Cleaning Business Today, go take a peek at that and read that article. It's right on the top. It's
And Yeah, they just released that yesterday, so that's brand new.
Breaking news. Well, it's probably a good time for us to go ahead and start. And again, for those of you who just got here, today's presentation is going to be delivered by Derek Christian. He has been doing a lot of research and does a lot of work in the area of marketing and business development. And today he's got a presentation for us on how to drive more traffic into our website, and not only just getting it there, but making it useful, converting it into something that's going to result in a business for us. So with that being said, Derek, take it away.
Great. Well, I'll go ahead and get started. And if you've heard me speak 100 times before, I apologize for this next slide. But I saw there was a bunch of people on this call who I don't know your names, so I'm not sure what you guys know about me. So just real briefly, I wanted to give you a quick bio. I used to work at Procter & Gamble for 13 years in sales and marketing over there. Got crazy in 2008 and decided to quit my corporate job. And not only did I have a corporate job, but at the time my job was to sell to the Caribbean. And so I quit that job and bought a little maid service that was doing about $200,000 in sales in Cincinnati. I wanted something I could build, but I wanted enough infrastructure that I could get out and not have to be cleaning every day. Now, we were $200,000 back when I bought it, and we're just approaching 7.5, 8 years right now. And now we do about 2.5. Well, actually, I think it's probably going to be closer to $3 million in sales by the end of this year between Cincinnati, Dallas, and Dayton. And originally my maid service was just $200,000 a year in Cincinnati. So it's been an interesting 7.5 to 8 years. Tom, who you just heard speak a minute ago, is the co-owner and publisher with me of Cleaning Business Today, the trade publication for residential cleaning companies. And I'm also a partner with Tom and Liz in Cleaning Business Builders, which is the group putting on this event today. And member on ARCSI, Habitat for Humanity, was a board member in Main Street Ventures, which is an incubator here in Cincinnati for tech startups and some other craziness like that. And I get a lot of press. I'm a marketing and press person, so I love press. There's no press I basically don't like unless it's negative. So anything from cleaning tips in Better Homes and Gardens to I was quoted in the New York Times on how to pick a CRM application for your company. I like all sorts of press, and the latest one that I'm having a lot of fun with is I've got a regular spot on our local Fox affiliate. So every 2 weeks I go on that station and do a 3 to 5 minute segment with one of the anchors on how to clean or organize or do something important in your home. So that's just a little bit about me, so you know who I am and why maybe what type of success we've experienced here. So the first thing we were going to talk about is what is called by some people Mobilegeddon. And that is basically April 15, 2015, Google made one of the largest changes they've ever made to their search engine algorithm. And if a website doesn't test as mobile friendly, Google announced that they would severely de-rank it, meaning it would be much less likely that that website would ever show up for someone doing a search on a mobile device. And that kind of makes sense if you think about it. Google wants people to use their application and be happy with it and keep coming back to it. And if you do a search on a mobile device and Google recommends a website that's not very mobile friendly, you're going to get frustrated with Google and maybe go find yourself a search engine that gives you good results for a mobile device. So now if you search on a mobile device like a tablet or a phone and your website's not mobile friendly, Google didn't go so far as to say it won't appear, but they said it's going to be very difficult to find. Now this has led to a lot of questions. A lot of people have then started running around and saying, wait a minute, how the heck do I know if my website is mobile ready? And we do some consulting work, and we had an event in Charleston a few months ago, and I had a couple people there telling me they thought they had to redo their website because it wasn't very mobile friendly. And we did a little bit of testing and showed them pretty quickly and easily that, no, your website actually is mobile friendly. And it's really not as difficult as it would seem. Google's made it pretty easy, and they've got this tool called basically the mobile friendly tool. And the URL's on the screen right now, but like most things, it's kind of a big, long, nasty URL. I will show you kind of the shortcut version, and that is if you just go to Google and type in mobile test, that first result is going to be the Google mobile friendly test. So if you pass the Google test, then you know for sure that Google is not going to penalize your site. So this is my maidservice.net, which is our main website for Cincinnati, Ohio. And you type it in, you press analyze, and it pops out and says, awesome, this website's mobile friendly. Now, I don't like how it's showing it down there because that's not how it's supposed to look, but we passed the test. Now I'm going to do my maid service Dayton, which is my newer office, just to give you a comparison of what would happen if you don't pass the test. And our Dayton office does not have a mobile-friendly website yet. And so I know it's going to fail. I'm working on fixing it, but you'll see that here in just a second. And part of the reason why is we had just redone this website about a year ago. And we had it working on mobile, but not good enough. So according, we look at it on a mobile device and said, oh, look, it renders. Everything looks okay. It doesn't have bad formatting. You can see down here it doesn't look bad. But Google said while it technically appears on a mobile device, the text is too small, the links are too close together, and they don't like how the mobile viewport was set. Now, if you don't know what those things are, there are links on this page that will help you figure it out. But Google's made this nice and easy and friendly for you to figure out if your website is mobile friendly or not. So like I said, I look at this on my website on my cell phone and say, hey, this looks great. It renders on a website. It looks like it's supposed to look. But Google says, nope, not mobile friendly. Your text is too small. Your links are too close together. You basically can't navigate it with a finger is what they're saying. So we failed on that website, so we're making some changes to fix it. So just to show you how quick and easy that is for you to go out there and do a test on it. Now, the other thing that Google has started to put a heavy preference on is on-site experience. And what I mean by that is Google has caught on that people like to play games with their algorithm. One of the best examples is people know how important backlinks are. So people started playing all sorts of games to get backlinks. And then it was all about content. So people started to write blogs that were just gobbledygook trash and would say things like cleaning and zip codes so that Google would find it and index it. And they would write articles on other people's website linking back to their website. All these things to kind of game it. And what Google decided is at the end of the day, one of the best ways for them to know whether or not something works is to determine how people behave on the website. So the worst thing, according to Google, is if you go out there and you do a Google search, and then you bounce back to the Google main page. If you don't know what I mean by that, I'll show you. So if I were to go over here and go to Google, and I typed in Maid Service Cincinnati, and I go to this first website that pops up, which is My Maid Service, my company, and then I look around, don't click on any links, and press the back arrow, Google considers that a negative vote. They say you searched for Maid Service Cincinnati, you went to this web page, you didn't like what you found. Therefore, this is a bad website, and I need to lower its ranking over time. So someone going to your web page and bouncing back to the search results on Google, if that happens too much, Google's actually going to push you down the ranking because people are going to your website and going back to the search on Google. So, that's not good. They're not liking what they find. The second worst thing is if somebody goes to your website and then doesn't do anything, doesn't click on anything, doesn't call any phone numbers, doesn't interact in any way. This is what Tom and I were talking about a little bit before this call got started. In the old world of marketing, we would set up a website and we would put our phone number really big up here in the top right-hand corner with a big loud call to action to call us. Convenient for the customer. We wanted to talk to the customer. We thought that was a good thing. Well, if you go to a web page and off that web page you pick up a phone and call somebody, all Google knows is you went to a web page, you looked around, you didn't click anything. So that's better than bouncing back to the Google list, but it's still not great. A little bit better is if somebody goes to your website, clicks a couple links. If they click a couple links and move around the website, Google says, okay, they're at least looking around. I know they're interacting with this website in some way, shape, or form. Even better, if they fill out a form. Google figures if you're filling out a form on a website, okay, you're handing over some personal information. Now this is a website that people like. The single best thing you can do on Google is to complete a transaction, and that can mean two things. That could either mean handing over credit card data on a secure format, and Google knows that you're doing a secure format and passing credit card transaction, or if we're talking about Google on a mobile application, it could be hitting that Call Us button, and you'll see that in a minute, that call button. Either of those two things, Google's going to see as a positive and actually move you up over time. So it's possible that I could do no other search engine optimization, no backlinks, no gimmicks, no meta tags, none of that stuff we've heard about. And the company that's down here towards the bottom of the page, House Calls, if people go to the House Calls webpage and start interacting and putting in credit card numbers and pressing on their mobile device to call, Google's going to move them up over time because they're going to see that those people are closing transactions with that website. On the flip side, if your website's up here, like this company right here, cleaningservicescincinnati.net, you can tell they're probably playing some SEO games with a title like that to get people to their website. If people land on this website over time and they don't fill out a form, and I don't even see a form to fill out, and they press the back button, over time, this website is going to be penalized because Google's going to catch on that people are going to this site and they're not having a good site experience. So one of the most important things you can do for your search engine optimization is actually make sure that your website is a good experience for the consumer and that they want to hand over data for you. Because while you can gimmick things in the short run to try to increase your ranking, Google knows there's no way you can cheat. Did somebody actually give you their personal information, or even more important, give you their credit card number? So they've decided to really put an emphasis on that, which if there's people out there who are doing online booking and online scheduling, that gives them a bonus over time. So some of the big guys like HandyBook, actually just Handy now, Handy and HomeJoy, could be moving up the search engine optimization just because they're allowing the ability to complete transactions. And same thing with Thumbtack and HomeAdvisor. Some, not the only reason, some of the reason why they're doing well is because people are going there, filling out the forms to request a quote, and that's counted as an upvote. So try to make sure that when people come to your website, they want to interact. And once again, this is a change. As recently as 3 or 4 years ago, we were teaching you that you wanted to have your phone number big and obnoxious in the top right so the client would pick up the phone and call you. The problem is, unless it's on a mobile device, Google doesn't know they made that phone call. All they know is they went to your website and didn't fill in anything. So those are the two sort of quick tips on search engine optimization, which is sort of new and most people don't realize. You got to be mobile friendly, and if you don't know if you are, run that little test. And the on-site experience is becoming about more and more important over time. And Google doesn't publish the stuff, but a lot of the experts think that it makes up about 20% of Google's ranking algorithm right now. And I think that's probably going to get bigger over time because, once again, you can't game it. I can buy backlinks. I can buy articles. I can't buy consumers giving me their credit card. That's proof that people are happy. All right. Now we're going to talk about Google Plus / Google My Business. They've kind of meshed Google Plus and Google Local and Google My Business all together. So this might get a little confusing for you because I'm going to be kind of mixing these terminologies. Google Plus is Google's version of Facebook, and it wasn't getting a lot of traffic. So one of the things Google did to fix that is they made your Google Plus business page what pops up on the Google Local search. And if you don't know what I mean by Google Local search, what I've got is a couple screenshots from my cell phone. So I typed in the search phrase, maid service Cincinnati, Ohio, maid service Lebanon, Ohio. And what pops up at the top is the little map with the 3 listings on it. That's Google Local, which pulls from your Google Plus profile. Beneath that, and you can see the more maid service and the My Maid service, I've got the second page over here, is the Google natural search results. So when we talk about search engine optimization and how to end up higher in search engine optimization, what we're normally talking about is either, sometimes they call it native search, sometimes they call it natural search, but it's this stuff over here on the right, which I want to point out to you when I'm using a mobile device is on the second page. So the Google Plus listing pops up first. Here's the other thing a lot of people don't realize about that. If this first page pops up first and you click on the link, most people think that's going to take the consumer to your website. It actually doesn't take the consumer to your website. It takes them to the page on the right, which is your Google Plus page. And most cleaning companies, in my experience, haven't done anything with the Google Plus page. So you may spend all this time and money making this beautiful website, but if the vast majority of customers get this little map first and click on this and go to your Google Plus page, they may never get to your website. And this is super important for mobile, but as you can see, it even comes into play on PC searches, which is what I've got right here. Once again, if I click on My Maid service here, you think you're going to go to my website. You're not. You're going. Well, in that case, you did. See, don't you love it when Google changes things? I guess they've changed that, but it used to take you to the Google page. On a mobile device, it always takes you to the Google Plus page. But a lot of these companies have done nothing with their Google Plus profile. There's nothing in there. There's generic pictures. They haven't put in any postings. And another thing I want to show you on this, my maid service is #1 on natural search for the search phrase maid service Cincinnati. It's also #1 for a Google local search. And I can tell you, I get about 1,000 to 1,200 visitors a month on a good month on my website. My Google Plus page in the last 12 months, I'm pulling this statistic up for you right now, has had 51,000 views. So my website in the last 12 months has probably had about 12,000 views. My Google website, my Google Plus website, has had 51,000 views. And by the way, this particular one is not very impressive. I've got some generic stuff on the right. So it shows how important it is that you need to get that Google Plus page set up and configured, because if you don't do it, people are going to end up on this very boring generic page and not be very impressed with what they see. And this is an example on the right of our Lebanon office where we've done a good job setting up the Google Plus page. People see some decent pictures, some information about the company, some reviews, and actually want to interact with us. So how do you fix that? How do you increase your Google local placement and then make sure you actually get more people off of it? First thing you need to do is claim, verify, and complete your Google Plus profile. A lot of people don't even have a profile set up or they haven't claimed it. And if you don't know how to do that, Google's got some great tutorials out there. I'm not going to talk you through that because that's kind of boring. You want to get at least 5 reviews. That tends to be enough to get you into that 6-pack at the top of the page. It does vary by market. There are some markets where lots of reviews are necessary, other markets less. I'm very fortunate that here in Cincinnati, Ohio, 15 reviews puts me at the top. There are some other markets where people have 50, 100 reviews, and it's a lot trickier. The last thing is you can use the tools at moz.com/local to review and correct your local presence. And what I mean by that, once again, just to show you, for those of you that may have never seen Moz, you just go moz.com/local. And you put in your business name. You don't even do your URL. So I'm going to do my maid service. I'm going to put in my zip code of Cincinnati. And I'm going to run this little tool. It's going to pull up a couple different listings for my maid service, probably a couple of my different offices. So I'm going to pull up this Lebanon, Ohio address. Takes it just a second to run, and then once it's done, it's going to show me all of the things that it thinks I need to correct. All right, it says I'm only at 19%, and by the way, I chose a bad listing on purpose, so it would have some information to show you. It shows you 19% complete, 67% incomplete. So on my Yellow Pages listing, I need to add 5 pictures and 1 more category. On my factual listing, I need to add 1 more category. On City Search, I need to add 1 more picture. So you see that I'm not in terrible shape, but what I need to do is add some of this stuff. What really gets me in trouble is this inconsistency thing. Google really likes to see the same address over and over and over again. And this 998 East Ridge address that's pulling up is actually an address that we used to be at 3 and 4 years ago. This 800 number that you're seeing is an unfortunate experiment that I did with Yodel some years ago where, gosh, it had to have been 7 or 8 years ago at this point, where we agreed to let Yodel market us. And yeah, don't ever do that, because to this day, Yodel's old 800 numbers out there popping up, and that messes up my Google listings because Google wants to see the same phone number, the same address, and have all of that corrected. So one tip is if you're thinking of moving, think real carefully, because there's a lot of database stuff you're going to have to fix when you move. And if you have moved, you got to go out there and make sure all these old addresses go away. And I'm constantly fighting these. These 2 in particular are real problematic because, once again, these phone numbers and listings actually come from Yodel, and they just keep reloading them. So I kill them, and they load them again. So it's sort of a never-ending battle to try to fix those. So Moz.local is either free to get these tips, or if you want, I think for 80 bucks, they will actually go out there and help you fix this stuff on your behalf. Okay? Now, one of the things we didn't cover at the beginning is we do mute this call so that we don't have a whole bunch of background noise. There is a way for you to chat and ask questions. Feel free to ask any type of question you've got by chat, and my partner Tom over there will break in and tell me if there's anything I need to answer.
Yeah, okay. In the control panel.
So now we get all these visitors to our website, but how do...
You're
Go
good.
ahead.
Just explaining the control panel, you've got a control there that says questions. You can type in questions. We'll ask them at the end.
Yep. Now, next thing I want to talk about is how do you convert all these visitors into sales? It's great if I get these visitors to my website, but I actually need to try to convert these people into some sort of ongoing business. It's really important that your website communicates trust with the consumer, and you can build trust in a variety of ways. First of all is use testimonials, and try to use testimonials from real people. I personally, and I think a lot of experts would agree, that having people can tell fake testimonials when it's somebody you've hired to speak for you and it's got a high production value and they're obviously reading from a script. Real testimonials from real people work great. It can either be videotaped or it can be a written testimonial. If it's a written testimonial, if you can link it either to the actual review on Link or the actual review on Yelp or the actual review on Facebook, that will prove it's real. It's a real person. There's a picture and a profile tied to it. If you're a little more techie, Yelp in particular has an API which will let you pull actual Yelp reviews onto your website and share it with the world. If you're going to do online shopping with people, because remember how important it is to put that credit card number in, and that by Google is considered sort of the gold standard upvote, you want to have SSL encryption so people feel safe. That's where you've got the HTTPS in the top left-hand corner and the safe shopping guarantees that you see. Consumers have kind of come to expect those, and if they're going to give you a credit card, they're going to want to see that type of stuff, or they're not going to complete the transaction in some cases. And then borrow credibilities from others. Press, trade associations, Yelp, Thumbtack, HomeAdvisor. Once again, this works better for me to explain sometimes, and I'm going to start with some of the national guys. Most of you have heard of HomeJoy, for example, and you'll notice that when you go to HomeJoy's website, see, it's always when you're on a webinar that your internet access slows way down. They've got all these little icons down here about the press they've had in TechCrunch and Huffington Post and Daily Candy and Forbes and Wall Street Journal. That's one form of borrowing credibility, is doing PR and things like that. Let me do another one, and I always misspell these people's website.
Hey, Derek, we're
Yeah.
still seeing your PowerPoint deck. Are you showing us something on the web?
Yeah, I popped off of it. I wonder why that's not sharing. Are you there yet?
Still looking at the slide that says video.
Huh. Okay. Well, let me minimize that.
That might be you. Tom, that might be you because I'm actually seeing the website.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I'm seeing Natural Care Home Cleaning Service right now.
Sorry.
Good. All right. Well, good. I just wanted to make sure. So this is another website which they've changed recently, and I really love. What they do on the website is show 98 plus A reviews on Angie's List, 34 5-star reviews on Yelp, 35 5-star reviews on Google, 44.4 star reviews on Facebook, and you can click on those various links and go see their actual reviews and where they're at. That's all forms of borrowing credibility. If you don't have that type of stuff, you can put on there that you're a member of a trade association like ARCSI. You can put on there that you've been screened and approved by HomeAdvisor. People don't always know what that means. I've seen people just have links that say, go see us on Yelp. Here's what I do. I get a lot of press, as I mentioned, so I've included some of my favorite press articles because I think that shows well on me that if people click on it and see that I've been quoted in Better Homes and Gardens, they should trust that I'm a good cleaning service to use. These are all forms of borrowing credibility. One of the things, there's a saying out there that I've recently been reminded of that I love, where Benjamin Franklin actually is originally attributed with it, that said, people believe more in something when they discover it themselves. So rather than telling them that you're the best, show them you're the best with things like borrowed credibility from other places. And when they come to the natural conclusion that, wow, you must be the best company because of all of this borrowed credibility, it's going to be more believable to them versus you putting some verbiage out there that says, be sure to go with the best cleaning service in Cincinnati, Ohio, My Maid Service. Don't bury them in stuff like that. Prove to them you're the best by borrowing credibility from these other places. And you may have seen it in the past in a lot of different places and not known how you can use it. If you join ARCSI, you can get their seal of approval, which shows that you've actually do background checks and screening. Once again, Yelp, HomeAdvisor, Thumbtack. These are all great places to borrow some credibility from. Next tip is to use video. There's been a lot of published data out there that says 95% of websites don't have any video on it. So if you have some video on your website, that's going to make you stand out. Video also works extraordinarily well on mobile because it's really hard to read text. So if you were going to, for example, try to explain to a customer why your company is the best company, if you put a bunch of text in there, it would be too much to read and it would be too difficult. A video, though, a quick little video that explains why you're the best company, works great. Also, a lot of people get hung up on video and say, I can't do a high-end video. I don't know how to cut it. I don't know how to edit it. Some of the best videos are shot with mobile phones and handheld devices. People can tell that you shot it yourself, and that's okay. Low production quality proves that you're real. It proves that you're authentic. I mean, think of some of the kids and stuff that have become YouTube stars. One of the reasons why people love that type of stuff is because they know it's real. They know it's not a bunch of actors somewhere. And same thing, if you have someone grab a cell phone and shoot a quick video of you explaining your website and your company and why you're the best company, that comes across really well because it's authentic. So just like you're trying to borrow credibility, you also want to come across as authentic and true. So I've got these nice, highly produced videos, but you don't need to do that. And just to give some different ideas of videos, these are some videos we have. The one on the top left is on our homepage, and it's a little blurb that does just what I described. It explains why we're the best cleaning company in Cincinnati, Ohio. So instead of reading a bunch of text, we come on and talk about our experience and our training program and how dedicated our employees are. It's not a long video, doesn't take forever, but it just quickly gets across the message of why we're a good company. Video in the top right is actually a video from a TV appearance I did on Fox 19 talking about various cleaning products. This is a great twofer because I get the advantage of a video, but I also get the borrowed credibility of, oh my gosh, this guy's on Fox 19, he's talking with Clive Gray, he must be somebody impressive. The bottom right is a video I shot on how to clean with a magic eraser in a house. So why is a magic eraser a great product for us? It was basically a video blog topic. Instead of always having to do a blog in writing, you can also do a video blog. And once again, great tip, shows people that we're experts and gives us another form of content out there. Tom, any questions?
Not at the moment.
Okay, we've got some echo from somebody. Someone's got me on a speakerphone. All right.
You still have it?
Yeah, I still have it. Better? There we go. All right. Nope, and it's back. Oh. I don't know where that one's from. Technology isn't great. Why all of a sudden are we getting an echo? Anyway, so you want to try to get the video on your website. It really helps differentiate you. So my recommendation, if you haven't done anything, is Google Plus is your quickest and fastest payoff. I've been in classes with people where I help them get their Google Plus profile, set it up, get their 5 reviews, and by the end of the 1-hour class, we were able to get them into the 6-pack. You can get results that fast with Google Plus. Search engine optimization is a lot slower, so doing things like making sure that you do your mobile test and get your backlinks and all that type of stuff is going to take a little bit longer. But by all means, do it. I also recommend you do the Moz local activity because not only does that up your search engine optimization over time, or up your local ranking, but it'll help your search engine optimization over time as well. And then one of the last things, although very important, is your website and making sure that your on-website experience is good for the consumer. It's easy for them to navigate. It's easy for them to fill out a form to give you a credit card and do whatever you want. And don't copy other people. Have your own sort of view and personality. For example, we pulled up my website a little bit earlier, and I've got a picture of the Cincinnati skyline in the background, and a lot of people argue with me on that and say, you know, you really should have pictures of happy people and things like that. And I did some A/B testing, and for those who don't know A/B testing, that's where you run a website 2 ways. One way is you do version A and version B, and you randomly switch people between the two and see which one works better. And we found doing the Skyline got us better results. And the reason why is here in Cincinnati, people are freakishly loyal to Cincinnati. We have Cincinnati Bell, for goodness sakes. How many of you still have a bell company in your town that's dedicated just to your town? We eat Skyline chili. We have a dry cleaner that dominates, an ice cream cleaner that dominates. So here, being a local Cincinnati company really hunts. So I wanted that picture of the Cincinnati Skyline because that really helps people feel connected to us, that we're a locally owned company. Our Dallas website, we didn't do that because there's so many Dallas-based companies, it doesn't buy us as much. As much as people are proud of Texas, they don't identify with it sort of the same way. And trust me, I grew up in Dallas. If there's any Texans on the call, they're probably saying they identify with Texas very strongly. But when you go to Dallas, there's a lot of chain restaurants. It doesn't have the same sort of unique personality. So I did the city Skyline in Cincinnati because it worked for me. Other people may want to do smiling cleaners. Other people may want to do other things. Just make sure it's clear, it's a consistent brand, and do testing to see what works. Because sometimes what works is what's different than everyone else. One of the reasons why I probably get good results in Cincinnati with the Skyline is because everyone else has generic pictures. If everyone starts running the Cincinnati Skyline, I may end up wanting to move to the smiley people in the future. So that is sort of the end of the planned sort of presentation that we had for today. This is all just some tips on how to get your website seen by more people, and then once they're on your website, to actually try to get them to convert. Now, once they convert, you actually need to try to book them for something. And so one of the things that we're doing as a consulting group is we're going to actually be doing a sales conference in Charleston, South Carolina at Castle Keepers. And as cool as I think my company is, doing almost $3 million in revenue in 3 different cities, Tom Stewart, who's on this call in Charleston, his company is just as big, if not bigger than mine, and he's in one city in a much smaller city, and he does really well there. And so it's just amazing to visit Castle Keepers. So the night of August 21st, we're going to go visit Castle Keepers, and then on the 22nd, Saturday, we're going to do an all-day sales conference about how do you convert customers? How do you get somebody and figure out how to switch them over? So we're going to talk about the attributes that every great salesperson must have. 11 phrases you should stop saying because it kills your sales. 6 simple steps to close a sale. 3 causes of a genuine objection. And how to actually take all these leads and convert them into sales. We also have a really cool bonus program we're doing called our Secret Shopper program, where if you want, we will call your company and assess your own salespeople. How long does it take them to call you back? Do they follow the right steps? How engaged are they on the phone greeting? How good are they at understanding what the actual need of the client is and then matching the description of the company to the need of the client? And then we're going to give you a report on the areas you need to work on before you show up at the conference. The details are standard registration's $249. If you want to bring a second person, it's it's another $149. We have a program called Foundations of Success, and our Foundations alumni get a discounted price of $139. And then if you want to do that Secret Shopper program, it's an additional $99. If you want more information, you go to our website, cleaningbusinessbuilders.com /increase sales, increase profit, or just go to the website and click on it. There's a big picture on it. Or you can just email me, and that's my website up on the page, or my email address. So I'm going to throw it to Tom again. We got any questions coming in?
No, not really. Not at the moment.
Oh, come on, guys. Some of you guys got to have some questions. I'll give it a second here, and I'm actually going to shoot you guys a message just so you can. Nope, I can only actually chat one way. All right. You want to try unmuting then? What do you want to do? Or can we not do that on this one?
We can. It's a bunch of people.
Okay.
Let's
All right.
let's give it a go. It's going to take it a second. I've got a question here now. I'm just starting my cleaning business, have only a few customers. With a new company, how do I go about getting customers in order to get those reviews? So I guess the question is, how you need customers in order to get reviews. So how do you get your first customers to be in a position so you can get reviews? And I guess a follow-up to that might be, with only a handful of customers, how can I maximize the reviews I can get out of a small group of customers?
In person, ask them. You sit down with them and explain to them how important it is and how you're just starting out, and I would really appreciate it if you do a review. I find a surprising number of people can't figure out how to log into Google and do a review, so we have actually sat down with clients and helped them set up a Google account, get on, and do the review. So if you're small enough that you can do that, that's a real competitive advantage, is to just talk to the customer face-to-face. People like to help people. So, you know, explain you're new. I'm so happy that you're happy with the service. You know, this is really, business now is really all about online, and that's how most people find us. As a small company, I'm getting killed by these big national companies. If you would write me a review, it would really help me. I'd be happy to help you right now and show you where to go and how to log in. You've got to make it easy for them. If you can't help them log in, you need to give them a URL or a backlink or some easy way to get there and know where to put the review on. If you literally don't have enough customers to even write your reviews, I would clean for your friends and family and tell them that, you know, I'm going to clean for you. In return, I would like you to write a review. You know, I don't think that's dishonest. You're not telling them, you know, what to write in the review. You're just saying, hey, I'm going to clean for you. I'm brand new and I need some people to review my service. I'm going to let you sample my service so that you'll share it with the world. It's really no different than when travel companies bring a bunch of travel agents down to their resort for free, so the travel agents will see how great the resort is and go tell their clients. Now, I personally don't think it's ethical to buy a review from somebody who hasn't used the service, so I wouldn't ask my friends to go write a review if we'd never actually cleaned their house. But I've got no problem saying, hey, I'm going to clean your house for you. I'm brand new, just getting started out, and your way you're going to pay me for that is you're going to write a review for me. Is that cool? And just go online and tell people what it was like, because I think we're pretty great.
Okay, Derek, I got another question here. I have a question asking, how do we claim your Google Plus profile in order to make the changes?
Sure. Google's got a pretty lengthy process on that. If you go to Google and just type in claim my Google Plus listing, it'll walk you through that. One of the most important steps, though, is they are going to want to send you a postcard in the mail. And that postcard is going to have a little code on it. When you get that postcard, you're going to need to go in and key that code in. That's how you claim it. Now, if for some reason you have an address where you cannot get mail delivered, and there's some reasons why this happens. Some people in the past, we had a client who operated their business on a very small island, and they used a mail stop and things like that. You can actually, through the Google Plus system, have a phone conversation with somebody at Google. They are constantly moving that little button around. My advice, and what I found is very effective, is the easiest way in my experience to reach Google is through the AdWords department where they're actually selling you something. So what I normally do is I go to the AdWords page. I request to talk to an AdWords sales representative. I tell them that I'm thinking of running an AdWords campaign, but I need some help getting my Google page set up because, you know, these AdWords campaigns are going to send people to my website, and I want it all set up right. And the AdWords people are normally more than happy to help you fix your Google Plus profile because they're hoping to sell you some ads. So it's a little bit sneaky, but it's worked very well for me in the past.
Okay, I have another question here asking about a couple of competitors are showing up in Google Maps in multiple locations. I know they don't have real locations in these multiple locations. How are they accomplishing that?
Well, they're probably cheating. There are some ways people game the system, and let me go back to this because there used to be a way to report that. I'm not sure if there still is. The thing about teaching things like is they're always changing the rules of the game. Yeah. See this feedback button down there in the bottom right? if you know somebody's gaming the system and they don't have a physical address there, a lot of times you can reach out to Google and basically report people for cheating. This got to be a really big problem for Google. People were getting P.O. boxes and things like that. One thing that the Google local system does do is put a pretty high emphasis on where your office is physically located. So if someone wanted to appear in places where they don't operate, they will get some fake addresses. So if they're showing up with an address that you 100% sure know is fake, then you can go ahead and report it. Don't try to copy them, because if you get caught on this stuff, Google puts you in a penalty box and can penalize not only the fake listing, but also your original listing as well. Now, some companies legitimately have multiple offices. I have 3 physical locations in Cincinnati, Ohio, that I operate out of, so sometimes it's legit. Other times people are gaming the system. But hopefully you saw kind of that little feedback system in the bottom right, and you can normally report people that way and let them know that something's wrong.
I have a question here. Someone got here a little bit late and wants to know if they can hear this presentation at a later time. And the answer to that is yes, we're recording it, and Monday we'll have it edited down and have it available, I guess, stream off of YouTube.
Yep.
Got a question here asking, is giving coupons for reviews the same as buying a review?
Once again, we're actually writing an article about it in Cleaning Business Today for next month of what is the ethics around reviews. Some people don't think it's legitimate to offer coupons and discounts for reviews. I can tell you that some websites, particularly Yelp, will tell you that that breaks the Yelp policy, and if they find out you're doing it, they will actually put a little nasty note on your profile that says you've been buying reviews, and I've actually seen that happen a couple times, not a lot. I think it's personally reasonable as long as it's not too extreme. You know, our customers are really busy people. They make a couple $100 an hour. I'm asking them to take 20 or 30 minutes out of their day to write me a review as a favor. In return, offering to clean their fridge or do something nice for them as a thank you doesn't personally seem unethical. The only thing that I personally think crosses the line is when you get reviews from people that have never used your service. Asking people to write a review and then basically buying their time, doesn't bother me, but I will tell you it breaks the rules on some companies, particularly Yelp.
Okay, I've got a question here asking about blogs. They want to know, does a blog on my website give me much better potential ranking with Google?
Yes and no. Blogs help, but if I was going to tell you a lot of things to worry about, I would put it relatively far down the list. In general, blogs are good for a couple things. Google likes to see 2 things in a likes to see a lot of things in a website, but it likes to see 2 things in a website that are somewhat contradictory. The longer a website has been around, typically the higher ranking it has, because Google says, wow, this company's been in business X number of years, they must be legit. The second thing that Google likes to see is a website that gets updated from time to time. It's great that you've been around since 1996, but if you've never updated your website, that information is stale. It's old information. Now, especially at the speed the internet moves, if there's not updates from time to time, it starts to look old. So Google likes to see some changes to your website. And sometimes it's difficult, especially if you're not a graphic designer, to change your website all the time. So posting an occasional blog can help with that. It can also help with search engine optimization because it's often difficult on your website to put all the keywords in. House cleaning, home cleaning, maid service, butler service, spring cleaning, apartment cleaning. There's a lot of words you want to say because they're things that people might potentially search for. But if you try to put them all on one page, it's going to become a very messy, unusable page. In fact, if you cram too many words onto one page, Google is going to actually penalize you and say you're keyword spamming. A blog gives you a nice, natural way to hit some keywords and phrases. So my blogs normally say things like, the other day I visited a client in Blue Ash who needed to get her apartment cleaned. So in one article I'm saying Blue Ash, which is a city I care about, and apartment cleaning, and then I'll get into a bunch of tips about apartments. Is it going to be easy for you to get your stuff actually articles that people are going to search and find? There are people who write stuff so good that Google will actually make that pop up in natural search, the actual blog topic. I know one company that generates about 60% of their website traffic directly to their blog. People go and start by reading the articles and then go to the main page. That's actually the exception. Like I said, blogs are good to show updated content on your website, and they're good to help you hit some keywords without keyword spamming. But I would, if I was just starting out, that would be way down my list. Once again, do all your local stuff, all that Moz local activity. Make sure your website's easy to format, easy to do business with, has all those trust factors, and only then do you worry about the 19 through 2,000 items of blogs and things like that. Unless you're particularly talented. There are some people that are really good with words, in which case go with a blog.
Those are all the questions we have for the moment.
All right, well, Tom tried to unmute it. Anyone got any questions they want to try to ask, or did you mute him again?
I wasn't successful in unmuting. I'm the fill-in driver here, and I'm sorry, I'm just not.
If you guys want to ask some more questions by text, feel free. We did talk about that sales conference that we're doing. It's going to be a really cool event. One of the key drivers to your business you're going to discover is what percentage of your leads do you convert. The difference between closing 1 out of 5 people who fills out a website on your web form and 9 out of 10 people is more than a doubling of your business. I know that doesn't make sense right away, but I could show you on an Excel spreadsheet how that all works out. We all tend to spend a lot of time and effort, and on this call today, talking about how do we get more people to our website, how do we get more leads. But the process of how do you convert those leads into an actual client is really important and often overlooked. Most cleaning services are just order takers. You call and they ask, how big is the house? What's this? What's that? We have a very high close rate at our company because we ask a lot of questions to figure out, why do you need a cleaning service? And once I understand that, we hit you back with a custom pitch that convinces you that our cleaning service is the perfect match for you. And therefore, we get a really high close rate. And that's the type of stuff we're going to be talking about. And that secret shopper program is going to be pretty cool, too, because we're going to call and shop your salesperson and give you a report back on what they're good at, what they're bad at, how quick they were, whether that's you or somebody in your office. All right, last call for questions, Tom. Anything?
I think that's pretty much it. Like we said before, this whole presentation is being recorded. Monday we'll be getting it up on YouTube, and I'm sure Cece will send everybody an email with information how to access that. In the interim, if you have any questions, Derek's got his email address up there, or you can send us emails to mail at cleaningbusinessbuilders.com. Our website, cleaningbusinessbuilders.com. There's all kinds of different ways that you can engage with us. With that being said, Derek, do you have anything else?
No, we covered most of it today. We had some of the typical questions we get on some stuff. If anyone tries to actually follow up any of this afterwards and get stuck, feel free to shoot me an email, and I can give you some more specific advice back and go from there.
Okay. Well, again, we'd like to thank everybody for attending today's discussion, and hope to hear from you more. Please give us some feedback on today's presentation. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for attending.
All right, thank you.